Okay, Mishnah is Kelim, Perek Yud Beis, Mishnah Beis. Again, continuing with the dinim of which Kelim are makabel to, and which pieces of metal. So this Mishnah is more intricate. So Knei Maznaim Shal Srokos Tome. So this is talking about different Kelim that come in parts. You have different sections to different Kelim, right? Like somebody asked me tonight, if a scissors, when you're toiveling a kitchen scissors, do you toivel it? It's not exactly this case, but do you toivel it when the scissors is open or when the scissors is closed? Meaning, if it's one kli, so it can be closed, right? If you may be looking at two kalim, so then maybe it should be open, right? Because it's like two kalim that are attached together. So this is something that's similar where you have like a piece of wood, and on that wood is
Would you
hooks.
lose anything by just opening it?
There's no loss in opening it. No, no loss. Other than maybe cutting yourself. Right. So this is talking about also that type of thing. But here there's wood connected to metal. In schools, since David had such a fine experience today in a school, right? So when they hang up the hooks, they sometimes hook it into this is the way this is my own makeup of what understanding the Mishnah. Sometimes they take hooks and they put it into a board and then they knock the whole board like into a 2x4 and then they knock the 2x4 into the wall, right? So the question is each one of those hooks makabel tuma or not? Because it is connected to a piece of wood, which a pshute kliates is not makabel tuma, right? So knemas nayim shel srakos, which means that the wooden of well, the literal translation is a rod of a scale, right? That's used by srakos, people that comb wool and those type of things. So they had a metal scale hanging on a piece of wood. So we're saying that it's tame. Why? Because of the hooks. Since what's a piece of wood that's a scale, right? Unless it has metal hooks on it, right? So then the wood is not makabel tuma because it's pshute kliates. It's a plain piece of wood. But when
It-
you put hook on hooks, then it's fine. What do you say?
It's a balance scale. That's what you're talking about.
Something along those lines. Yeah, I don't know if exactly, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why the Mishnah doesn't just say a simple case of a balance scale. Maybe because by a balance scale, if it has a utensil, then that's for sure makabel tuma. This is not really a utensil; these are sort of like hooks. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, so mipnei. So why is it mipnei on kolios? Because of the hooks. V'shabalabatim. But that's only if it's from the people that are actually um, doing this as a business. But if it's from balabatim, then then not. V'shabalabatim im yesh bo un kolios tome. It is tame, right? No, I'm sorry. For shabalabatim, they don't have any metal hooks on it, right? So therefore, it's not going to become tummy because the main thing is piece of wood. All right, all they do is tie there. They don't have hooks that they hang the food or whatever. Here we're talking about wool or any other garment on it. They here they just tie it on with a string. So then of course it is not makabel tama. But im yesh bo unkolios, if it does have unkolios on it, tummy, it's tummy. Unkelin shel kasafin tahira. So this is your classic water carrier, right? So they carried that, they had that big piece of wood on that went across their shoulder. So the main part of the kli is the wood. It can't become tummy, but it has hooks on it in order to hang the buckets. So unkelin shel kasafin tahira, it's tar. Mishal reichlin. tame. But if it's from reichlin, right from the word rechilus, peddlers, then it's tame, right? Why? Because that's a kli itself. If you reichlin, so if it's made out of peddler, if it's from peddlers, shalafan of tameya, what's in front of him is tame, because that's where he would hang his wares. The shalachar of tahira, but what's behind him is tar, because he doesn't put his wares in there. Unkuli dargosh tameya, the hooks of a dargosh are tame. So a dargosh is a bed. Like it's after sukkahs. Sometimes people have cots, and the way they attach the cot to the wood frame is by having hooks, right? They put little holes in the not the it's not a mattress, whatever it's called. It's a dargosh, and they connect it with these hooks. So those are tummy, right? So now normally the wood thing um the wood thing is a kli, so it could become tummy. So the hooks also become tummy. But shall naklitin, but if it's just poles, so those naklitin we have it in sukkah. They're naklita amitas. They're not attached to the bed, but they're there in order to sort of make like a tent, like a teepee over the bed. So those are tar, and the Mefarshim say, but if it would be connected to the actual bed, then they would be tame because it would be part of the bed. Shel shida, if you have a box and you have the box, you have hooks on it in order to be able to hang it, so then it's tame. The shel akoin, yeah.
Shidu is the box they used to go to basic forests, not to get tummy.
So
That's where we had it. Yeah.
You serious?
The Kahanim would say when
Right, they would go in there, yeah. The old version of by the Lubavitcher Rebbe, whatever they wrap themselves, the Kayanim over there, right? Yeah, very good. We shall akoin tahira, but if it's part of an akoin is a fish trap, right? When the fish go into it, they get trapped by these hooks. Yeah, so those hooks, those would be tahar, because the box can't become tummy, so therefore the hooks are not. Shal shulchan, right? If you have hooks on a table, I guess there was also to hang the table because they use multi-purpose rooms. The shal menorahs ha'etz, the hooks of a menorah, a wooden menorah, is also tar, right? Meaning the menorah itself is just a piece of wood. They put the cups like they do now with the glass cups that they put into the menorahs. Right? I think it's just like a flat piece of wood, because if they'd had a place to put in the cups, to put in the cups, then it would be a kli kibul. Right? Fine. So here's the rule. Anything attached to it, something that's tame, is going to become tame, even though it's not part of the actual utensil. But if it's attached to tame, it's tame b'mechomer l'tar, and if it's attached to something that's tar, then it's tar, right? Even though the thing itself could become tame. V'kulan achas b'fnei atzman, and anything, each one hook by itself, tahiris der tar, because they're not really considered kalim, meaning they're not independent entities. They work when you use them with something else, but that's it. Okay, that's a long Mishnah, so we'll stop with that one. Let's get a start. It's a little late. Let's start with the Shari Tshuva. So we're in Shar Gimel, and what do we say? What do we decide? Kuf Nun Vav.
Hey,
Kuf Nun Hey. I'm
Hey.
sorry, right? Kuf Nun Hey. So he's talking about the different people that. It's actually interesting. It's a continuation of shtickle of where we were holding in the Rambam and Hilchas Tshuva when we ran out of time for the Rambam. Right? The Indian apikoiris. What is the Indian of an apikoiris? Pershu Zal ki hu ha'ish asher einenu noyeg b'derech moira. It's somebody who is not noyeg with fear, v'hider b'talmidei chachamim, and he's not mahadar talmidei chachamim. Afal pisha eina mevazai some. It's pretty scary. It's not. It doesn't sound like you have to be that major bad guy to be considered an apikoros. Maybe we should give out more acceptance letters to the Apikoros Anonymous Club, right? But meaning all you need to do is not have Moira and Hidur on a Talmud Chacham, even if you're not Mavaza them. Meaning you're Mavaza your friend in front of a Talmud Chacham. Some cover the Torah's Chacham, and you don't give any cover to the Torah of the Torah of the Chacham by not acting better in front of him. Why? So what does this make you not be kairos? Since the Torah is not a hiddur in his eyes, covered to be noyeg derech covered, which is pretty scary. He doesn't have a chelik because clearly he's not being machshav the Torah. Because he's also going to be considered somebody who's machal Torah because he doesn't behave himself in front of Torah. Al kain amar Rabbi Sena zacharnim levracha. That's what it means, that you have to fear Hashem, and that's coming to include fear Tamid Chacham. Not that you have to. I think this is what the Shara Tshuva is saying. Not pshat that you have to fear the Talmud Chacham, right? It's not a din in the Talmud Chacham. Meaning, if you're not embarrassed in front of the Talmud Chacham, that means that you're not machshav the Torah enough. And then either this part I wasn't sure, and that means that either it's going to lead to a bizayon Torah, or that itself is enough that it's a bizayon Torah. Okay, we'll stop there.